No, you need to leave. Turn around. You're turn around and leave.
He is under.
I'm going to arrest you if you do not leave.
You are going to be placed under arrest.
Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him?
Okay, so today I want to react to this video that's currently going viral on social media, and the left is losing their minds over it. They're saying, look, this is proof that ICE is the Gestapo. This is their fascist, tyrannical overreach, and I can't believe they did this. They're arresting their political opponents and all this garbage. And yet in reality, it's yet another example of a Democrat politician, in this case, a Chicago alderman by the name of Jessica Fuentes. Again, we're going to rename her the clown of the century after she made a complete fool out of herself and then was absolutely shocked when ICE put her in handcuffs after repeatedly obstructing law enforcement. As usual, it's a case of F around and find out. It's a case of left-wingers, who I constantly refer to as overgrown children, not really understanding the real world or the natural consequences of your actions. Hey, you get violent, you're gonna get arrested. If you obstruct law enforcement, you're gonna get arrested. If you demand a warrant, by the way, in a position where you have no authority to ask for one, like you don't have jurisdiction, you're just completely an irrelevant actor, you're just a freaking alderman here, right? You're not the president, then ICE has no necessity or legitimate need to give you that warrant. After, by the way, they've already shown the warrant to people and have already conducted the immigration raid, here you barge in at the end saying, show me the warrant, film for the cameras, political stunt. And they're just like, no, put you in handcuffs. Shut up. You're annoying. But anyways, that said, guys, we'll react to this. All right, I'll bring you this whole story. I'll show you what the local news is saying about it. And we'll actually start off by just playing the video because even, I think, alone, this gives you plenty of the context. But that said, guys, do us a favor. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. That's the best way to support our work and ensure that we can keep bringing you these videos. And that said, let's just start off today's video by showing you what the left is posting, and you know, you can see for yourself. So here's the caption on it. ICE arrested Chicago alderman Jessica Fuentes inside a hospital emergency room simply for asking them to show a warrant for the man they detained. Again, when law enforcement, first of all, shows a warrant, it doesn't mean they have to show it to anyone, right? So if they come into your home, yes, they might have to show you the warrant. It doesn't mean they have to show the warrant to the next door neighbor or some random guy who's driving through the neighborhood, right? You don't inherently have the authority to ask for a warrant just because you're a random person who exists. Okay, you're not the illegal immigrant. You're not even the illegal alien, sorry. The illegal alien. You're not even the hospital staff. What is the point of this? But anyways, that said, just look at this video and see what you think about it.
Burn your
He
laws.
has constitutional rights.
No.
He has constitutional rights. Do you have a sign?
No, you need to
warrant for him?
leave. Turn around. You're turn around and leave.
He is under.
I'm going to arrest you if you do not leave.
You are going to be placed under arrest.
Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him?
Can somebody go in the hallway and get Lisa for me, please?
Signed judicial warrant for him.
Can somebody go in the hallway and get Lisa for me? This is an older person who's being under arrest. I need my other staffer who's in the hallway by registration to come here, please.
You are hurting. I am asking. I'm not.
Can somebody get my
I am
staffer,
asking.
please?
This is a hospital. Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him? I am asking. I am asking. I did not touch you.
We told you to leave.
I did
You're
not touch you.
impeding. Now you're
I
under
did not
arrest for
touch you.
impeding.
I did
Thank
not
you.
touch you.
Where-
I asked you if you had a
Is
signed
Lisa still out there?
judicial warrant for him. It is very simple. It is very simple. That man has constitutional rights. I did not touch you. It is a public space. I am not trespassing. I am asking you. Do you have a signed judicial warrant? I am asking. Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him? It is a question, sir.
Ma'am,
You are
we do
an
not
agent.
need- we do
You are
not
a federal
need-
agent.
We do not need a
You are a
warrant for
federal
somebody
agent. I
under
am an
arrest.
elected official, and I am asking. Do you have
What
a signed
elected official?
judicial warrant? I'm the alderman of this
Can you
board.
keep recording? I need a call.
I'm asking. It's just so funny how these people are like universally obnoxious. But that said, okay, again, it seems pretty clear, right? You're obstructing law enforcement. They ask you repeatedly to leave, turn around, go the other way. There's an active operation going on. you didn't do so, you end up arrested in handcuffs. Like, it's not that complicated of a story. You know, it's another very basic case of natural real-world consequences of obstructing law enforcement. You're not asking for a warrant. You're creating an obstruction situation at this point, right? And I again say, I'm the alderman. Okay, this is a federal law enforcement operation. What authority do you have to ask for the warrant? It's not affecting you in any way. You just chose to show up to the hospital, right? Warrants can be showed, yes, to the appropriate figures and authorities. You're not one of them, okay? Just because you have some type of elected office in this country, just because you're like a city council member, doesn't mean you get to go to the president or the FBI, for instance, and just determine intelligence operations. Like, it doesn't work that way. Okay. That said, though, I want to take a listen here to what the local news is saying about it, because the coverage is kind of hilarious. You know, they're trying to make a big drama out of the situation, but still, when you break it down, it makes perfect common sense what happened to her, right? It's very simple.
Alderperson Jesse Fuentes handcuffed by federal agents today. That incident captured and shared on the Citizen app. It happened at a healthcare facility in Humboldt Park in a confrontation with federal ICE agents.
And the hospital is still on a soft lockdown tonight after that clash between protesters and ICE. WGN's Angelica Sanchez is there live. Angelica, the question is, why was ICE at the hospital in the first place?
Well, Alderperson Jesse Fuentes tells us an undocumented man inside the hospital will need surgery for a broken leg after ICE attempted to detain him this afternoon. It's unclear how the man received this injury, but she tells us ICE is not allowing the undocumented man to speak with an immigration attorney. Meantime, our cameras here captured tense moments between protesters and federal agents exiting the hospital. During a shift change of federal agents at Humboldt Park Health, protesters began blocking their vehicles outside the hospital. Protesters were pushed as agents made way for their vehicles. One protester opened the agent's car door. Agents deployed gas cans in response.
You know, the usual left-wing peaceful protesters, right? Let's just like open people's doors. Let's block the road. We obviously have a First Amendment right to do this. And, you know, ICE are Nazi Gestapo for simply responding to our repeated provocations. As you're about to see here, they're going to cry over the tear gas. And this was the situation outside, right? That this Jesse Fuentes character is going to return to and now engage in and join in the crazy rioting and protesting here going on. So let's keep listening.
We learned some people injured with pepper balls needed medical attention. Alderperson Jesse Fuentes says the hospital underwent a soft lockdown. She says an injured, undocumented man is still being guarded by ICE agents inside and has been denied access to an immigration attorney.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you keep on hearing this. He's being denied access to an immigration attorney. So it's unclear because the news won't report it. You know, usually you figure out the reason why a couple weeks later and it's like, oh, yeah, that perfectly makes sense why this illegal alien's being detained. They had a criminal record or so on and so forth, especially in these cases where ICE is putting that much priority on one individual here, right? But she's going to keep crying about that. He's not getting access to an immigration attorney. Yeah, I wonder why. You know why? Because he's in the hospital. That's why he doesn't have access. When you go to the immigration detention facility and you're being held in a not permanent, but kind of semi-permanent state, that's when you can actually go and speak to the attorney, right? Right now, he's just being detained and probably has to get treated for this, and then they can take him there, right? It's like saying when you're being arrested by the police in that very moment, why am I being denied access to an attorney? No, you have the right to remain silent when you get to the jail. Then we can figure out the attorney situation. So here you go once again, where they're creating this drama out of something that is perfectly normal, benign, and frankly doesn't exist at all, right? A problem that doesn't exist. But, you know, considering this alderman, this absolute clown of the century, believes that she has the unilateral authority to go up to federal agents and ask them for a warrant in situations that do not involve her whatsoever, it shouldn't surprise me that these people have no basic understanding of how the law is supposed to work. That's why they're so shocked, of course, when it's being enforced. I mean, they apparently think it's their legal right, for instance, to block the road and harass ICE, and then, you know, it's but it's illegal for ICE to deploy tear gas in response to their threats. I don't know, but take a listen.
Not being discharged this evening. He needs surgery. There's immense amount of trauma to his leg with several bones broken, and we believe that he'll be getting the surgery here tonight.
I'm going to arrest you for that.
Video from the Citizen app shows Alderperson Jessie Fuentes put in handcuffs after asking federal agents multiple times if there was a warrant for the undocumented man. She says she was released when she challenged what law she was breaking to be detained.
This is a hospital. Do you have a sign for this? A warrant for him.
Dozens of people, along with elected leaders, joined Alderperson Fuentes outside Humboldt Park Health following ICE sightings Friday morning in neighborhoods like Humboldt Park, Logan Square, and the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood.
Just last week, I tried to...
Are they waving Puerto Rican flags? That makes so much sense, guys, because Puerto Ricans, the ones who are American citizens by birthright, are the ones obviously getting deported, right? People are not the brightest. But, you know, again, I'll say that if ICE was already inside, then the warrants must have been shown to the appropriate authorities. The illegal alien, who's the suspect, maybe the hospital staff. Again, Jessie Fuentes, you have no jurisdiction here to ask for a warrant. You're not involved in this. Just get the heck out of here, is what ICE was basically telling you. And then they treated you exactly like that. And you're like, no, you know, every American citizen has a right to ask for random warrants for situations that don't apply. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Maybe if people learn the law or decided to, like, somewhat decide to abide by it or understand it, we wouldn't have any of these problems as a country. That's kind of a very deep conversation to have. Because if people learn the law, we wouldn't have illegal migration. If people learn the law, we wouldn't have Democrat politicians, randomly obstructing law enforcement, demanding warrants where they're not allowed to ask for one, and then getting arrested and crying about it. But here we are, right? Here we are. I don't know. Maybe civic literacy can solve all this. I don't know.
Motion to subpoena Kristi Noem, and now she showed up here today. Next time, Kristi Noem, you show up to Chicago, meet with me, because I've been trying to meet with you for the last few months.
Again, who even are you? Like, we don't even know who you are. Why are you? I demand that the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security come to meet with me at my office. Who the heck are you even? It's like, what?
Groups accuse the agency of using violent tactics in their community.
One of the first calls that I responded to was ICE throwing tear gas right outside of Rico Fresh on Armitage in Central Park. Pepper spraying, customers coming out of the grocery store, rapid responders responding to ICE presence in our community.
Other witnesses to the Rico Fresh incident tell WGN over the phone they are still feeling burning in their eyes hours after the incident. They tell us they saw multiple people in their cars impacted by the tear gas, with kids crying in their back seats. Some want to speak with police. Now, we have reached out to ICE for comment on these incidents. We have yet to hear back. Alderperson Fuentes tells us she and others are reaching out to more legal experts on how to allow the undocumented man to speak with an immigration attorney. Reporting live in Humboldt Park tonight, Angelica Sanchez, WGN News.
Well, again, we gave you the answer to that. On the front of the tear gas, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, but again, why is it happening? Because you're seeing the scenes outside, by the way, that you, the local Democrat politicians, are inciting. And this is a story you see all the time, by the way. You know, left-wingers on the internet will go and just spread these stories about, this person got detained or this person is arrested. Can you believe it? He was working in the shop for 30 years. And then you read the details and it's like, oh, he was secretly money laundering for MS-13. Oh, let's just ignore that fact, right? This person is a legal migrant. They did the paperwork correctly. No, the visa's been expired for 10 years and there's already a final deportation order every single time. And in these cases of so-called ICE police brutality, right? I asked for a warrant and then they arrested me. No, that's not what went down, right? And here's a recent example you might have seen in the news. I heard this a lot about this in the local news I still follow LA local news basically on Instagram and stuff. And I kept seeing this story about how California newlyweds said that feds tricked the wife into ICE detention. Basically, the wife here showed up for her appointment for the green card. They were doing the green card marriage thing. They were recently wed. And then ICE took her into custody, and now they're like, what? Except when you read deeper into this story, the reason it all happened is because back in 2019, she overstayed her visa, did not renew it, and then there was already a final order of deportation sent out to her. Apparently, their excuse is it was sent in the mail, but they never received it because they claim they changed addresses. Okay, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's like, okay, apparently you've been in the country for 6 years now. Between now and then, you never once stopped to like check your immigration status. I don't know if there's an online portal or something, but you never bothered to ask, right? How do you have no idea, by the way, that you overstayed your visa? You just never checked to see if it was successfully renewed or something like that, right? And then this is the story you hear out of the local news. And again, I looked into all the details and I'm like, yeah, gee, I wonder why that happened, because you totally screwed up the process, right? Total disregard for the rules. You didn't even, again, bother to see in the past several years, heck, maybe the Biden administration would have been more lenient on you, but guess what? You were completely irresponsible. You already had the final order of deportation, you know, and then now you're like, how dare they enforce that? So
on September 16th, they went to the federal building in downtown LA for what they thought was Barbara's final step in her path to citizenship, an interview for her green card.
The USCIS representative looked us right in the eyes and said everything was looking good.
That's until Tucker says the rep asked Barbara to accompany him to make a copy of her passport. She left the room and he says she was detained, eventually told that it was because she missed a 2019 court appearance of which she had no knowledge.
Yes, again, pretty straightforward, right? So you hear this is always what they do. You hear the story in the beginning, oh, that's sad. Love should conquer all, you know? I mean, it's kind of cruel. You're deporting some newlyweds and there's going to be all these problems. But then you find out she missed the 2019 court date. And you can say that, she, you know, apparently, again, their excuse is they moved addresses, so that's why that happened. But the court date was over the fact that her visa had expired, and eventually there was a final order of deportation put out. Now, if you know you're an immigrant or an alien resident in a country and your immigration status is pending, what on earth are you thinking not checking in the past like 5 to 6 years if everything's in order, right? Okay, so she missed the court date. Was there any attempt made between 2019 and 2025 to reschedule or explain what happened? No. And then you wonder at the very end why ICE is like, wait a minute, big red flag here. So just another example. You so often see this every single time. They tell you half the story and you feel kind of bad for them. And then you're like, oh, so that's what really happened, right? So that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.